Today we'll be talking about the Goal Setting Retreat Agenda. First, this resource can be found on the Alpha Sigma Phi website under the President's Officer Resources. This Goal Setting Retreat is extremely important because it gets the chapter on the same page regarding the vision of the chapter and specific tangibles on how to go about achieving those objectives. This retreat is held annually, ideally around the time the new officers are elected. The new Prudential Board will hold a Prudential Board retreat to create 3 to 5 end statements, which is, for example, the chapter will increase the quality of brotherhood. Then, bring the entire chapter together and discuss the end statements and have a member of Prudential explain each one and why. You can then divide the chapter into groups of 5 or so individuals to create 3 to 5 SMART goals for each of the 3 to 5 end statements. When creating the goals for each end statement, be sure to make these goals with varying degrees of difficulty. By this we mean that when you are creating each goal, start with a goal that is easily attainable or on par for the chapter. For example, if your chapter has won bronze cups for the past several years, then your first goal should be to maintain your chapter's success at attaining the bronze cup. Your second goal should be a little more difficult, which should be a goal that your chapter has a strong base for, but may take a little more effort than what the chapter has previously put in, but will ultimately yield a greater result. Your third goal should be much more difficult. This goal could be seen as your shoot for the star goal, something that seems unrealistic at first thought, but with an extraordinary amount of effort is something the chapter could pull off. For example, to revert back to our first scenario, in that same chapter where to create the goal of getting the GSP after only getting a bronze cup. By creating these goals of varying difficulty, it will help the chapter make the correlation between the difficulty of the goal and the amount of work they need to do to achieve them. This should help the chapter push itself to greater heights. After everyone is finished, bring everyone back together and compile the list. There will more than likely be a few goals that aren't SMART, which is normal, so work with those to make sure that they are SMART. For example, a SMART goal for improving the quality of brotherhood, like mentioned before, would be to have at least one brotherhood event with 75% attendance each month. Work with everyone in the chapter to come to a consensus on which SMART goals everyone is committed to working towards for the upcoming year. Once the SMART goals have been discussed and committed to, the meeting can be adjourned, and the last step would be to post the objectives to a highly consistently viewable place, whether that means you pin it to the private Facebook group or something like that. And that is a brief overview of the chapter goal setting retreat agenda. Thanks for tuning in.